You're sitting at dinner with people you care about. Everything seems fine. Then someone makes one comment. Maybe they interrupt you mid-sentence, or they give you that look. You know the one. Suddenly your chest tightens. Your heart starts pounding. Heat rises to your face. You feel like you're about to explode, and you have no idea why such a small thing hit you so hard. Here's the paradox that haunts us all. Why do the people we care about the most trigger us the deepest? Why can a stranger's rudeness roll right off our back, but one sideways glance from our partner sends us into emotional chaos? Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, gave us a profound answer. He said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." Today, you're going to discover how your triggers aren't your enemies. They're actually maps leading you to unshakable calm. Let's start by understanding what a trigger really is, because most people get this completely wrong. A trigger isn't just someone annoying you. From a Jungian perspective, a trigger is an external event that activates an unhealed part of your psyche, something Jung called your shadow. Think of it this way. You're not actually reacting to the person in front of you. You're reacting to what they awaken inside you. It's like someone accidentally poking an old bruise you forgot you had. The pain isn't coming from their finger. It's coming from the bruise that was already there. Jung discovered that we unconsciously project our own unintegrated aspects onto other people. When someone's behavior irritates us intensely, it's often because they're reflecting back a part of ourselves we haven't fully accepted or integrated. The person who triggers your anger about laziness might be showing you your own relationship with productivity and self-worth. The person whose confidence annoys you might be reflecting your own struggles with self-doubt. This is why triggers feel so personal, so overwhelming. They're not just external events. They're internal revelations we're not ready to face. But here's what makes triggers so tricky. Your body reacts before your mind even knows what's happening. Your nervous system is designed to protect you, and it operates much faster than your conscious thinking. When someone says or does something that touches that unconscious wound, your amygdala, the brain's alarm system, fires off stress hormones in milliseconds. Your heart rate spikes, your breathing changes, stress hormones flood your system. All of this happens before your rational mind has a chance to evaluate the situation. This is why you snap at your partner over something tiny, why you go silent and withdraw when your boss gives you feedback, even though you promised yourself you'd handle it differently this time, why you feel like you're watching yourself react, wondering why you can't just stay calm. Your unconscious mind is running the show, responding to old patterns and unhealed wounds. Until you understand this process, you'll keep feeling like you're at the mercy of other people's behavior. Jung made a revolutionary discovery. Our triggers reveal our unintegrated shadow. The shadow isn't evil or bad. It's simply the parts of ourselves we haven't fully accepted or developed. When someone's behavior triggers us intensely, they're often showing us something we need to integrate about ourselves. If someone's arrogance makes you absolutely furious, Jung would ask, what does this reveal about your own relationship with confidence? Maybe there's a part of you that feels small or powerless. If someone's criticism sends you into a spiral, what does this show you about your own inner critic? Let's look at some common triggers and what they might be pointing to. When people ignore you, it might be activating your wound around feeling unseen or unimportant. When someone is controlling, it might be touching your struggle with your own power and autonomy. When someone is emotional or dramatic, it might be reflecting your own discomfort with expressing feelings. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." This is why the same types of people keep triggering you, why you find yourself in the same emotional patterns over and over. The unconscious wound is running the show until you bring it into the light of awareness. Here's a simple but powerful process you can use the next time you feel triggered. These 3 steps will help you move from reaction to conscious response, even when you feel like you're about to explode. Step 1. Pause the story. The moment you notice you're triggered, stop feeding the narrative in your mind. We tend to create elaborate stories about what just happened, what it means, what the other person was thinking. They don't respect me. They're trying to control me. They think I'm incompetent. These stories amplify the trigger. Instead, just notice. I'm telling myself a story right now. Step 2. Name the emotion. Get specific about what you're actually feeling. Not, I'm upset or I'm triggered. What's the actual emotion? This is shame. This is fear. This is anger. This is sadness. When you name an emotion, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for conscious awareness, and this naturally calms the amygdala's alarm response. Step 3. Ask, what's this waking up in me? This is where Jung's wisdom comes in. Instead of focusing on what the other person did wrong, get curious about what this moment is revealing about your inner world. What old wound is this touching? What part of you feels threatened or exposed? This shifts you from victim to investigator, from reactive to reflective. Now, staying calm doesn't mean staying silent or becoming a doormat. Jung taught about individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, separate from others' projections and expectations. This requires healthy boundaries. But here's the key. Boundaries are not rejection, they're integration. When you're triggered, you're often being pulled into someone else's emotional reality. A boundary is you saying, I can see what's happening here, but I'm not going to lose myself in your emotional storm. This might sound like, I can see you're upset, but I'm not going to engage when you're raising your voice. Or, I hear that you're frustrated, but I need to take a break from this conversation. Or simply, I'm going to step away for a few minutes. The goal isn't to shut people out. It's to maintain your center while still remaining open to connection. Jung called this holding the tension of opposites. You can be compassionate and boundaried, understanding and self-protective, loving and firm. When you learn to hold your center even when the world is pulling at you, you discover something remarkable. You can stay present with difficult emotions, both yours and others, without being overwhelmed by them. Here's the beautiful paradox Jung discovered. Your triggers are actually invitations to evolve. Every person who irritates you is offering you a gift, a chance to heal something within yourself, to integrate a disowned part of your psyche, to become more whole. The colleague who triggers your perfectionism is inviting you to explore your relationship with self-worth. The family member who triggers your people-pleasing is showing you where you've abandoned yourself. The friend who triggers your jealousy is pointing to your own unlived potential. Over time, something miraculous happens. The same trigger that used to crush you, that used to send you into emotional chaos, now becomes a signal for healing. You start to notice, oh, this is my abandonment wound being activated. This is my inner critic getting loud. This is my fear of conflict showing up. Instead of being hijacked by these patterns, you start to meet them with curiosity and compassion. That same dinner table where you used to explode, now you're breathing, calm, watching, choosing your response rather than being controlled by your reactions. Carl Jung spent his life showing us that our shadows, our triggers, our wounds, our unintegrated aspects are not our enemies. They're our teachers. In each irritation lies a gift, a mirror, an opening to deeper self-understanding. So I want you to reflect on this. Who has triggered you recently? What person or situation sent you into that familiar spiral of reactivity? Instead of judging yourself for being triggered, get curious. What might this be pointing to? What old wound is asking for your attention? What disowned part of yourself is seeking integration? Remember, you're not overreacting. You're not too sensitive. You're not broken. You're just being shown where your healing begins. Your triggers are not evidence of your weakness. They're invitations to your wholeness. The path to unshakable calm isn't about avoiding triggers or becoming emotionally numb. It's about developing the capacity to meet whatever arises with consciousness, compassion, and choice. When you can do that, you'll discover that the people who once controlled your emotional state have become your greatest teachers on the journey to becoming who you truly are.